Hi there, it's Malia Karlinski here from Yesterday on Tuesday, and I'm joining you today with another super fun crafty hangout. Now, if you don't know about crafty hangouts, these are fun videos that my friends and I do showing you how to use products and projects and make some fun things. And we do the whole thing kind of like live to tape. So sometimes there's little things that go wrong or that are funny and we just leave them in. We just let it all hang out. So that's craftyhangouts.com. You're going to want to stop over there and see all the great projects. Today, I have the pleasure and the honor of working with Plutonium Paint. I love this paint. So this is spray paint. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's very cool looking. So I was so excited because I do a lot of spray painting projects. I have become very comfortable with spray painting. I've been working on it for the last few years. And where it used to intimidate me, I actually love working with spray paint now because you can do so much with spray paint. You can totally change the look of something and you can upgrade something that's kind of plain and boring into something really cool. And that's what I think I've done today. So today I want to show you a couple things. It's basically the same project but two different sizes. And I'm going to show you how I use plutonium spray paint on glass to make some very cool Easter decor. But of course, you could do this, you could use any holiday would work for this, or a birthday even. You don't have to just stick to Easter, but let me just give you the basic idea so that you know. So I'm going to show you my bigger project first, and we're going to kind of finish it together. Since it's spray paint, I have started on it because I didn't want to be spray painting with you guys, like watching me spray paint. That doesn't sound very exciting, right? So to do the first project, which is a beautiful Easter candy vase, I grabbed myself a, showing you this for an example, I got myself a big jar that didn't have any kind of writing on it. I think this is like a pickle jar or a spaghetti sauce jar or something like that. You want a smooth surface jar. And then you want a big guy. And then you also want a little guy that's going to fit inside of there. So these are not the same dimensions that I use, but you get the idea. You want something you can just slip in there. So you need a couple jars. You need vinyl. And I just used a piece of vinyl from the craft store. And I actually used the die cut machine there to make this rabbit shape with the vinyl. But if that's not an option for you, you could use a cookie cutter on a piece of vinyl or even contact paper. You could use, if you have a silhouette machine or something, you're comfortable with vinyl, you could do that. You could use the die cut machine like I did. You could use a cutout you already have of something and trace it onto a sticky paper, like the vinyl or the contact paper. So you get the idea. You want something like that. And then I wanted to bling it up, so I've got some adhesive jewels here. And you know, you can never go wrong with adhesive jewels. They come in handy in a lot of different situations. So to do this project, the color I used was Polar, which is white. It's a white color. And I'm going to show you what it looks like on the back. There's the Polar. And it's a really nice white. It's a very bright white, and actually the paint has great coverage. I noticed when I was, I work with a lot of different kinds of paint, but I noticed when I was using the plutonium, it was a very nice, even coverage. It really felt more professional kind of grade than some of the paint I've worked with before. So anyways, you're going to need that Polar, that plutonium paint in Polar. And I think that that's it. So the first thing I did is I actually, as I mentioned, cut the vinyl shape on a die cut machine of the rabbit. Looks a lot like this. It's the exact same shape, actually. And then I actually adhered it to my big glass container that doesn't have any like funny stuff on it, like any writing or any raised areas. I actually adhered it. And when you do that, here's a tip for you. When you put your vinyl or your contact paper on your glass, you're going to want to get a credit card or a ruler or something and go around the edges and make sure there's no air bubbles and push out to make sure that you have a really good adhesion, because you don't want any of that paint kind of leaking under. So that was my first step. I sprayed it, and I sprayed it probably 3 times total to get a real opaque look. And by the way, while we're on the subject of opaque, I wrote this down because I wanted to be able to tell you, plutonium paint has 33 vivid opaque colors. So that's a lot of cool shades. There's 33 opaque colors. Now they also have 3 metallics and 4 translucents. So there's a lot of cool paint to choose from there. So if whatever your project is, I bet you they have the color that you're looking for. So you're gonna wanna check that out. So back to our project here. I spray painted my jar, and then I had to bling it out a little bit. So you can see what it looks like. It's pretty cute right now. And this used to be, knowing me, this might have been a pickle jar we eat so many pickles in my house. We eat lots of pickles and lots of peanut butter and lots of spaghetti. And maybe it's just because I want the free jar. I'm not really sure. But I think this might have been a gigantic pickle jar at one point. So you can see how it gave great coverage. So after I wanted it to be more special though. So after I spray painted it, I added some bling to give it a little fun rhinestoney blingy look. And then in the meantime, I took my other jar, which the little one I showed you is just an example, but here's the actual jar I used, and I put flowers in it, just water and flowers, so no big deal there. And then here's the fun part, one of the fun parts. You put the flower jar inside of your original jar, and it looks pretty cool, right? I think it does. Now, if you wanted to, you could do other things in here. For instance, so well, I'm going to show you this one more time just because I think it's kind of neat. If flowers aren't your thing, but I think that looks really cool, actually. If flowers aren't your thing, you might want to fill it up with candy, right? And this time of the year, there's so much good, well, springtime, not just Easter, but spring colored candy, pastel candy. So you know what the kind of candy I always really like is robin's eggs. You know, they've got that malted milk kind of thing in the middle, and they're those really pretty colors. So if flowers aren't your thing, you know what you could do? I'm gonna kind of do it while we're talking. You could fill up your jar with this candy, and just think how fun this would be at your springtime gathering. Now Easter's coming up soon, but also in the spring there's a lot of other fun holidays. There's Mother's Day, Father's Day is around the corner. A lot of kids are having there's religious holidays coming up, like First Communion, I believe. So there's a lot of fun holidays coming up where you might be going to an event, or you might be hosting a lot of people at your house, and you might be looking for some simple and easy decor ideas. So this large jar actually fits a lot of candy in it. So I almost got the whole bag in there, holy cow. So here's another idea. Fill the jar up with candy. Isn't that so cute? I think that that's really adorable. And then if you want to jazz it up even more, you could grab some ribbon or some lace. That one's too short. And just go around it and make a big bow, which is what I did in my next project, which I'm going to show you. But so that's my first idea, working with Plutonium Paint, and that's kind of an Easter or spring craft, and you can see there's a bunny. So if maybe you are interested in this, but you're like, I don't really want to do that large of a scale project, well, no worries. I made a smaller scale project that's very similar to show you. Now this was a glass thing that I got, probably knowing me, like at the dollar store or something. It's a little glass container. And in this project, I actually used a different color. I used Vegas. Ooh, God, I love this. It's this one. Vegas. Love that name. So it was kind of the same things, but smaller. So I had my smaller jar. Here's the size of it, so you can see. This one's done, but you can see the size. I had my polar, most important thing. I had a little scrap of vinyl. Again, contact paper would be fine too. And I had a punch, this is a bunny punch. So all I did was I punched out the bunny from the vinyl. Da-da-da. And then it's like a sticker, right? So I just stuck it on the jar, and then I did a few coats with that Vegas on there. Now, there it is right there. I haven't taken this one off yet because I wanted to show you more. But how you do it, how I do it sometimes to be safe, because you don't want to like ruin your paint job that you just did, that you just worked on. So something I do sometimes is I use tweezers. I actually have a pair of old tweezers that we used to use for bathroom stuff or whatever, but now I just use for crafting. It's not maybe as sharp, but it works great. And sometimes this vinyl stuff, I think it's easier if you use the tweezers on it. So I'm just going to kind of work on that for a second. You know, your nail would be fine too. If you don't want to, oh, I just scraped that one. I was going to say, if you don't want to scrape it up too much, I think I'm just going to use my nail on this one. Yep. Started it with my nail. Because sometimes the vinyl gets really like dried out. But you can see I'm just taking it off right there. And the tweezers definitely give me better control. Because I have done this before where I've used my nail and it ruins the paint job because I go too far. Anyway, there you go. This is with that Vegas from Plutonium Paint. So isn't that cute? Just a little bunny jar. But you can't just have a bunny jar without any candy in it this time of the year. So, you know, one thing that's really cute for this one, I think, is jelly beans. And they're very colorful, and they work great with this Plutonium pink, which is called Vegas. So I'm just going to fill this up. And if you were having people over for one of these fun occasions, this would be a great takeaway gift. I think takeaway gifts are great because they can be cheap, they can be just kind of cute and little and fun, and they make the guests feel really special. And, you know, you're kind of saying, hey, thanks for celebrating with me, thanks for coming out for my kids' event, thanks for being here for Easter, whatever it is, makes your guests feel good. So filling up with jelly beans, I've got the lid on there, but I think it could be even more fun. So I'm going to show you kind of the one I did that's finished. Any kind of old ribbon or lace you have lying around would be cute. I just put a little lace bow on there. And I made a little tag. So there you have it. There's my little bunny project. And just to remind you what my other project looked like, it was this big bunny jar that I made with Plutonium Paint and Polar and used a piece of vinyl on there to make the rabbit and filled it up. But isn't that cute? I mean, honestly, if you were going to a gathering party or celebration and you walked in with this, you would be a very popular guest, wouldn't you? This is a way to break the ice at those things if you need to break the ice, is walk in with a big jar of something fun. So I hope that you will go to craftyhangouts.com and see all the great videos and products we have there. I hope you will go to plutoniumpaint.com and check out their wonderful, vivid array of paints. They've got lots of beautiful stuff there and ideas too. There's tons of ideas. So again, I'm Malia from Yesterday on Tuesday, and I really appreciate you being with me here today. And I hope you have a very crafty day.